Have you ever tried to build a base or a storage system or a mega base or a house, and then you just realize that you don't have any of the materials you need? Well, that happens to me a lot, so in this video I'm going to build 24 of the most powerful farms in Minecraft to get me every single material I could ever need to make sure that I never run out of items. I started off by getting some more enchants so I could improve my tools. This is what I ended up with. Then I started collecting some of the materials that I needed for the farm, including lava, which was a really big pain. Once I had all of the materials I needed for the first farm, I began building it, and the first farm was actually going to be a cobblestone farm that produces over 65,000 items per hour. So I started off by making a giant storage system, and then I began to build the rest of the farm. Now I just need to make 2 more smaller layers of this. So now I'm finished, and the way this farm works is TNT gets duped and dropped from above to explode cobblestone that is generated by lava and water. Just basically a giant explosive cobblestone generator. There we go. Now I just need to clear out some space on the bottom, turn on the TNT duper. These work? Okay, it's working. Now I'm gonna dig out a little hole so mobs can't get me, and I will see you guys in an hour. Okay, that's a lot of cobblestone. All the chests are completely full. Now for the next farm, which is actually going to be a cooked pork chop farm, or a Hoglin Farm, I need to go to the nether roof. Sadly, my first pearl didn't work, so I had to get another one, and this one worked. Up, and okay, I'm out. Now I broke the bedrock so I could get back down. Okay, and if it worked? Yep, it worked. Then I started getting some materials for the Hoglin farm, like cobblestone and warped fungus, as well as some other materials. I found a crimson forest and began working on the storage system to the farm, because this farm produces over 175,000 items per hour. Then I placed down some glass walls around the hoppers and some soul campfires on top of the hoppers so that when the hoglins spawned, they fell onto the campfires, got cooked, and I received their drops. I also placed some signs above and around the campfires so that lava could be placed on them for the hoglins to actually light on fire. Then I built up and covered the lava with some temporary blocks so that I could build something in the middle. Then I placed some trapdoors around the middle, and I also built out the platform to make it much larger. I made some walls around the center so that the hoglins would fall straight into the pit and not get stuck on the corners. Then I killed off some of the hoglins that had spawned before the farm was ready. Then I replaced some of the cobblestone on the edges with dirt, placed some warped fungus on top, and fences above that. Then I began placing torches around the platform in a very weird pattern so that only hoglins can spawn and nothing else can. Then I just repeated this for the second layer. I then placed some glass beams at the top so that ghasts couldn't spawn, and if you're wondering why my levels are constantly going down and fluctuating, it's because I currently don't have a good XP farm, so I'm really just repairing my tools with diamonds. So that's actually pretty expensive, so that's why I have very few levels at the moment. Anyways, once I finished the glass roof above, I built up to height limit and went AFK for an hour. Wow, that's a lot of food, and there's some leather too. I'm probably never gonna have to run this farm again. Like, this is more than enough food for anything I'm ever gonna need. So I grabbed myself a couple stacks of food, then I crafted up some Eyes of Ender, and found a stronghold. Then I filled in the portal and entered the end. I had finally killed the Ender Dragon. I got the Dragon Egg, went through the End Gateway portal, and decided to go find an End City. Sadly, the first one I found didn't have an End ship, but I was determined to find it. And the second one did. As you see, the Elytra is the most valuable item in the game, and I had to have it. As soon as I got the Elytra, I realized that it would be so easy for me to travel to places, and I was so glad I got it. So I went back through an End Gateway portal that was only around 100 blocks away from the End City, went back to my base, and enchanted my Elytra with Unbreaking 3 and Mending so that I could fly wherever I wanted for however long I wanted. I crafted up some shulker boxes and began grabbing some pumpkins, cobblestone, glow lichen, and a couple other materials for the next farm, which is actually going to be a slime farm. For this I needed to find a swamp, because I haven't actually found a swamp yet. So I traveled thousands of blocks out until I finally found one. Then I cleared out a large area and began building the farm. So this is actually a pretty simple farm design. All I had to do was make a giant hole in the middle for slimes to fall through, a platform around it for slimes to spawn on, walls around, and an iron golem in the middle for slimes to attack. Then I just had to make a roof out of slabs. I also had to make sure that only slimes would spawn, so on the bottom of the roof, I had to add glow lichen because glow lichen produces a light level only slimes can spawn at. Then I had to clear out some more space at the bottom of the hole so that I could place some rails down and some redstone and other stuff, because this is basically going to be the collection system. And don't ask me what this is, but this is like some weird redstone in the corner. Then I just had to place some magma blocks on top for the slimes to actually die on. Okay, so it's been about an hour, so let's check out how many slime balls I actually got. Oh, wow, that's a lot of slime balls. Okay, so I just got back to my base, so I'm going to trade with some clerics for bottles of enchanting so that I can mend all of my tools and armor. Okay, now it's time for me to get some dirt so that I can work on my next farm, which is actually a Sugarcane Farm. This seems like a good place to build it. Now that I've built the platform, I need to actually build a flying machine to go across and break all the sugarcane. So I need to build one flying machine on one side, and then I also need to build something to send the flying machine back on the other side. Okay, so over here is a redstone clock that flicks a trapdoor every couple of minutes, which sends this flying machine over to the other side, breaking all the sugarcane, and then the other side sends it all the way back. Okay, so now that I know it works, I'm going to place down some sugarcane and surround this entire farm with glass walls. Okay, so while I'm waiting for my profits from the sugarcane farm, I'm going to start work on the next farm, which is actually going to be a bamboo farm. It's incredibly similar, it's almost the same thing, The only real difference is in the redstone. Because for this farm, instead of having a hopper clock, there are observers that detect when a certain bamboo block has grown to a certain length, and it sets off the entire machine. I'm actually going to force it to start working now, just to see how well it works. There. It detected it and it went. In the meantime, I got this much sugarcane from a small farm. Only a farm that's about this big. And it was only around 45 minutes because halfway in the farm broke because I accidentally placed a sugarcane into the hopper clock. Anyways, I started work on another farm, a string duper, in between these two. And yes, it's a duper, but no one really cares, it's just string. Anyways, it was actually a really simple farm design. All I had to do was place some chests, hoppers, glass above the chests, and just some walls, and a trapdoor with water, tripwire hooks, and some string. It was really simple. But for some reason, when I turned it on, it didn't work. I was so confused. Then I figured out what the problem was. After rebuilding this duper multiple times, I realized that I just built it facing the wrong direction. And fixing the direction it was facing just completely fixed the farm. And yeah, I also got a lot of bamboo in the meantime. So after about an hour, all of the chests were completely full of string and there was a ton more overflowing. And I began collecting it as well as a ton of the bamboo I made because for the next farm, which is actually going to be a Shulker Farm, I'm going to need a lot of scaffolding. Like, a lot of scaffolding. I also needed a lot of slabs and some other materials like these. Once I had everything I needed, I began to transport it using shulker boxes and ender chests. I decided to build the farm pretty close to the end city that I looted earlier for my elytra, because it had a very close end gateway portal so I could get back home quickly. I found an island that wasn't too close or too far and began placing down all of the materials I needed, and then I began building it. The first thing I did was build up 24 blocks so that none of the shulkers that spawned could actually teleport to the ground. Then I placed some cobblestone slabs in a line on both sides. Then I built out on the end of the platform and covered it with redstone, and did the exact same thing on the other side. Then I built up a pillar in the middle, and placed every other block as a redstone torch with the redstone dust on top. As I was building, I also made sure to spawn-proof everything with buttons. After building for a little longer, I built this redstone that detects when a shulker shell goes into it, and then it sends it down into a collection system. Then on each of the 4 corners, I built this little platform. Then I placed 2 layers of stairs facing different directions. I placed a trapdoor in the hole and placed some snow golems above it so that they would fall into a little hole. Then I placed some stairs, scaffolding, water, and a fence above it, with an armor stand facing into the fence. Then I made multiple platforms out of scaffolding and slabs above it. Then I made a redstone clock using a trapdoor, note blocks, and observers facing into it. I added more platforms above and a piston going down from the note block, all with this annoying sound in my head. Once enough platforms were built, I connected it to the storage system using hoppers, with composters above to reduce lag. Then I built up a couple more layers, built this weird contraption in the center, and rammed boats at a certain angle into the water, because if it wasn't at a certain angle, the farm wouldn't work, and I kept messing it up, so it took me a while. But when I finally got it, I covered them up with some walls and slabs above them. So now I made 3 more quadrants, and this is what it looks like afterwards. Now I do have to add some shulkers, which, to do so, I added a bridge from the end city that is very close, and I transported shulkers using rails, and I had to spawn-proof everything. It was a whole deal, but I managed to do it to each of the quadrants, and while I was transporting it, this is how much of the shells I actually got. And after doing some quick math, I realized that I had enough to make 545 shulker boxes, which carry thousands of items. I then began work on my next farm, which was actually going to be a wither skeleton farm. To do that, I needed to find a fortress in a soul sand valley, but I found a couple bastions beforehand. And I actually managed to get a netherite template, and I also got a netherite ingot or two from the bastions before I actually found the soul sand fortress. But once I found the fortress, I began work by finding a specific area that is 4 chunks that are all part of the highest point in the fortress, and I began building out a platform with a nether portal in the middle and a golem with some redstone around it. Then I went about 200 blocks above the nether roof and made another portal. I went over to the overworld and added a bridge to connect the portals, and this is what I ended up with. Let's see how well the farm actually looks. Nice, I already have a wither skeleton skull. Wow. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes and now I have a shulker box full of bones. So I'm going to start work on my next farm, which is actually going to be a wood farm. And since it needs a lot of bones, that's why I built the wither skeleton farm beforehand. So, to start off, I need to make a little box with water, place some grass and obsidian above. Then I made a storage system, and after some weird redstone, like redstone clocks, that make a trapdoor flick, that affects scaffolding, that drops TNT below, and it's all really confusing, but after all the redstone was done, this is what it looked like. And I can flick different levers in order to figure out which wood I want to actually obtain. Currently, I only need oak wood, so I'm going to flick it to oak wood, and I'm going to AFK for maybe about an hour, and then we'll see what the profits are. After about an hour, I got 2 double chests completely full of oak logs, and I began getting the materials for the next farm, which was going to be the fastest creeper farm out there, which produces over 32,000 gunpowder an hour. First off, I needed a ton of fish for cats, so I decimated a lake. Once I had all the fish I needed, I began to breed cats on the side while getting the other materials that I needed for the farm. These white ones are for, the white shulker boxes are for oak trapdoors, the red ones are for some other items, and the black ones are all for building blocks. I kind of just copied this from the video. I decided to build it not too far away from the raid farm that I built in the previous episode, so you can see it over there in the distance. So first thing I needed to do was make a 5x5 soul sand square. Then I made a large platform divided into 4 segments and added 2 high walls everywhere. I added some iron bars in the corners, and I also added some fence gates. Then I put down some carpet so that spiders couldn't spawn, and added trapdoors on the roof so that no other mobs than creepers can actually spawn. All in all, this took me about 15 minutes to build, but now I had to add cats, and I have to make 34 of these layers. So if one layer is 15 minutes and I need to build 34 of them, then you can just guess how much time I spent on it. So I began building. As you can tell, it took me a while, but this is what it looked like when it was done. I know it doesn't look all that big from the outside, but it's the inside that matters, right guys? Anyways, I was done with the tower, but I wasn't done with the farm yet, so I built a ring around it at the top, and then I extended it upwards about 20 blocks or so. And then I made a little killing chamber off to the side. Now I need to place some more iron bars. Now at the top I need to finish this platform out of slabs, and then I need to waterlog each of them. Now over here at the bottom I need to place 2 kelp into each of the corners and then bone meal them to the top so that they create water source blocks for creepers to be pushed up using the soul sand. And no, I do not know why there was a phantom in here. Now that I've grown all of the kelp to the highest possible, I need to break all of it. That is so satisfying. Anyways, now I need to go to the top and perform something really dangerous. Now, you may know I have god armor, but even god armor can't stop creepers from killing me, and I have to break all of these slabs so that creepers can go through them, and hopefully they don't kill me as soon as I break the slabs. So let's see. Oh my god, you can just see how many there are. Okay. Well, thankfully there's water, so they won't blow me up. But I'm probably gonna die here. Nope, I did not die. Okay, and that's all. Now all the creepers should be landing down here. And as you can see, it is working perfectly, and I already have a ton of creepers. Now there's still a couple things I need to do, like I have to add a roof up there and hopefully not die from phantoms. And I also have to add a little roof, well, I say little, I mean massive, around the top part of the tower. And there we go, now I just need to fill in the corner and light it up with some torches. And now that it's done, I'm just going to stand here killing these creepers for about 5 minutes and then I'll show you the results. Wow, that's a lot for just 5 minutes. Now that I have that much gunpowder, and renewable too, I decided that I'm actually going to try and get full netherite armor. So first off, I'm going to use the sand and gunpowder to craft TNT. Then I'm going to go strip mining at Y level 12 in the nether, and then I'm going to light up the TNT, and hopefully the tunnels are big enough for me to find enough debris for me to upgrade all of my armor, because I already have an upgrade template from earlier. Or at least for now. Alright, let's see if I got enough ancient debris. No, I did not, so I had to make a couple more trips. But on the bright side, I now have 7 netherite ingots, which is more than enough to upgrade all of my armor and tools. But the only problem is that I don't have enough diamonds to make more smithing templates to upgrade to netherite. So I need to go mining for diamonds, but for now I'm going to upgrade my chestplate and my sword. 3, 2, 1. So somehow all of my villagers died. I'm pretty sure a baby zombie got in here and killed them all. But I got some new villagers and I did get a fortune 3. So I put it on my pickaxe, but I don't have efficiency 5. I also went mining and got some diamonds. This is around a stack and 2 diamonds, so let's just see how many actual diamonds I get from that. I already have 2, let's put those 2 away. Okay, and now let's see. Okay, so the final result is 2 stacks and 14 diamonds from 1 stack and 2, plus those 2. I then made way too many armor trims by accident, and only ended up using about 7 of them. Alright, look at this. This looks so good. It looks insane. Alright, as cool as this netherite armor looks, I still need to keep working on building overpowered farms, so I'm going to start work on the sand duper, which produces over 80,000 items an hour, and I'm going to use TNT, obsidian, trapdoors, levers, and some pistons to destroy the bedrock around the end portal frame so that the farm actually works. G, and hold G like that. Just like that, the bedrock broke. Now I just need to do that a couple more times to all of the rest of the bedrock here. Alright, now that I've broken all of the bedrock around the end portal frame, I need to make a giant hole around the entire end portal. And to do it, I'm actually going to use TNT because it's a really big hole. And I'm just going to clean up the mess with my pickaxe. And this is what it looks like. I started off by placing some walls and cobblestone slabs around the bedrock. Then I placed some pistons below. Then I placed some leaves, observers, sticky pistons, and slime blocks on each side. And these were actually going to be the things that duped everything. The only thing that was really left for me to do was build a redstone clock, so I built that. Alright, so as you can see, this is a really simple redstone clock. All I need to do is push a piston into an observer, which triggers the— oh my god, what is that? Why is it so loud? Anyways, I actually needed to build a storage system on the other side, so I dropped some gravel into the end portal, and then flew back all the way to spawn, and found where the gravel landed, which was actually going to be where all of the items spawned at. So I made this super simple storage farm. It's not automatic, it just stores it but it should be enough. Alright, so I placed down all of the blocks I want to dupe, so I'm going to start the farm, and as you can see, this is everything I got after about an hour. So yeah, I probably did need to sort this, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. Then I went back over to my Cobblestone Food Farm and began clearing a little area out. And as you can see, these are all the materials I was going to need for my next farm, which was going to be a sheep farm. I'm going to have 8 layers total, and 2 different colored sheep in each layer. Now, I obviously began building with a storage system because that's the first part of any good build. And as soon as I was done with that, I added some rails and placed a hopper. Then above, I made a layer of observers and grass blocks in a pattern like this, and it went all the way across the rail. Then I placed some observers going into the observers that I placed earlier, and on top of the observers I placed dispensers, and I had to fill them all up with shears, which each of them could hold 9 shears, and there were 50 dispensers total, which meant a lot of iron, and I actually used up almost my entire supply of iron just for that. Then I placed some glass around so that the sheep wouldn't actually fall out of the farm, and then I started breeding sheep and placed them all into the farm. Now, this is only 1 layer, and I plan to make 8 total, and just this 1 layer used up all of my iron supply. So before I keep building this farm, I think it's time for me to build an iron farm that's much better than this farm. So I started off by just destroying this iron farm, then I began to build the farm about 6 chunks away from the creeper farm I built so that it wouldn't interfere with anything, and let me just tell you, this farm took up hours. It took me like 2 hours to build 1 layer, and I had to build so many of them. So I'm not even going to explain how it works, just know that there's some villagers and there's zombies in these little segments, and they spawn iron golems that drop down and get killed by this lava. Just that's the basics, you don't need to know anything else, and I don't really want to explain anything else. So I just AFK'd for about 2 hours, and I got an entire shulker box full of blocks and blocks of iron, and a second shulker box with a few more blocks. Now, this is a lot of iron, and it's definitely more than enough to finish my sheep farm, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And now I'm done. So this is the wool farm. It has 8 modules, and each one has 2 different colored sheep. For example, the bottom one has black and white wool, and the second one has the lime and blue wool, and it alternates all the way to the top. So now that I had finally finished my sheep farm, it turned out that I wasn't done yet. See, what I wanted to do was also build a storage system, and this took many attempts. At first I tried to make it built to the right, but that didn't work out because I didn't have enough space, so I just copied the storage system over to the left, and this is how I made it. So the way that it works is items are going to fall down a glass tube because observers that are constantly inputting a signal are going to drop them down, and then it's going to go up this water and into all of the chests. And as you can see, it's working perfectly. Alright, now that that's done, it's time to get work on the next farms, and I actually just built a seagrass farm. It's very simple. It's just an observer that constantly detects the water and just bone meals seagrass. That's pretty much it. And the reason I need this is because I want to make a giant sea turtle farm, because I actually need sea turtle eggs for a gold farm that I want to make. But this gold farm is incredibly expensive, so first off, I just need to finish making this sea turtle farm, which is pretty simple. All I have to do is make sure that sea turtles can't go down there, and there we go. Now is the absolute hardest part of the farm, where you see, I am nowhere near an ocean. I mean, there's an ocean over there, and I'm pretty sure turtles only spawn in the ocean. So I'm gonna have to boat a turtle over here. So I'm just gonna show you the turtle here and not show you the hours of pain that I am probably going to go through to get that. Aw, they're so cute. It almost makes the 3 hours of pain I went through worth it. Almost. Okay, so now I need to breed these until there's like way too many. Okay, so I've been AFK for a few hours and I've also been breeding them on and off. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, this took way longer than I thought it would. This took a couple of days, but it's fine because I got to take a break from Minecraft and enjoy life. So I also rebuilt this seagrass farm just a little bit further away because it was actually interfering with the turtle farm. It works the same and it's still useful, so I'm gonna keep it here. This is so boring. Alright, so this next farm I'm going to build uses a lot of materials, so I'm just going to show you how I actually built it, and not explain any of the physics behind it. Just know that the obsidian portal that's going to be in the corner of the room is a chunk loader. Alright, so first off I removed all the lava and covered the end portal with cobblestone. Alright, so once I finished building the chunk loader, I actually went through and I found a bastion, and this is the loot that I came out of with it. It's kind of good. But anyways, I need to keep concentrating on building this farm, which, if you haven't figured it out yet, is an obsidian farm. Alright, so what I just did was I broke an infested block, which spawned a silverfish, which is going to go in this boat. Now I'm going to spawn a snow golem in another boat, which is going to throw snowballs at the silverfish, which is going to hit the wither through the portal, and this is where the wither is going to be. So I'm just going to spawn it because I've already done everything else I need. I've placed down the hoppers, I've placed down everything. All I need to do is spawn it, and now I just need to run. And I just have to wait for it to explode and shoot it with an arrow. Now the wither just exploded and it's launching its skulls at me into the wall. Now I do have to shoot the wither. Oh, I missed. So the wither kind of escaped and nearly killed me, but it's all good. And I did end up getting all of the obsidian that I needed. So it's time for me to start work on the next farm, which is actually going to be a flower farm. See, I'll need flowers for a project that I'm going to be working on later on in the video. And a flower farm is an easy way to get flowers. So I'm just going to make it in the village next to all the sheep farms and stuff that I've made. And it's actually very simple. All that it is there's a dispenser below everything that's dispensing bone meal constantly, and pistons pushing the grass blocks back and forth, which means that as soon as the bone meal spawns a flower, it instantly breaks, and all I have to do is press the note block to turn it on and off, and just walk over it to collect it. I'm just gonna click on this one. Yeah, it definitely worked, and I got all of the flowers I needed from that. Alright, so this next farm isn't technically a farm. We're gonna call it one because I need to up the view count or something. But it's a super smelter and it's very expensive. I mean, look at how many hoppers and redstone I need. So, I already got it all, but it's took me so long. Anyways, the reason I want to build a super smelter is because I'm tired of building with cobblestone. I would much rather build with something like, I don't know, maybe stone bricks. So we're that iron farm that I forgot to break. You know, that iron farm that I forgot to break? Yeah. I'm gonna break it now, and now I'm gonna place the super smelter right there. Alright, now that I've broken the iron farm, I need to make a collection system to start off with. So this is what it's gonna look like. It's just a bunch of hoppers going into a chest. And now those 4 rows of hoppers that are sticking out, I need to place furnaces on all of them. And the hoppers should collect whatever goes into the furnace. Now behind the furnaces and the hoppers, I actually made another row of hoppers going into the furnaces, and now I need to place packed ice behind it. So how this is going to work is I'm going to have a bunch of carpet dupers that are going to be bringing carpet over the hoppers using packed ice. So I just need to actually place it down first. Alright, now I need to make a little slab floor with some cactus at the end to destroy all of the extra items. I also need to place some glass panes to help align the items that are going to be going into the hoppers. Turns out that the way the redstone is placed is very confusing, but there's a lot of repeaters and a lot of redstone, so I'm pretty sure that the top row you just have redstone repeaters and redstone, and then the back is all just redstone repeaters. and it's all very confusing, but this is what it looks like. Anyways, now it's time for me to just make a carpet duper. One carpet here, and two. Alright, so I finished making the carpet dupers, and I made it so that the super smelter works on all of the 4 sides. And now all I have to do is make a system for it to actually take out items. So the way this is going to work is these 2 hoppers are going to collect items out of this chest and distribute them into 4 different hoppers, which is much faster than just having 2 different hoppers, because the minecarts actually distribute double the items at double the speed, which makes this entire super smelter twice as fast. So before I actually test this out, I have to keep the super smelter running for a while, and then I'll test it out afterwards. Alright, so I gave it a little time, and as you can see, it's depositing items very quickly, which this is not sped up at all. This is completely real time. So it's depositing about a stack of items in 3 seconds or something. It's incredibly fast. So, as you can see, this was definitely a good investment on my part. Now, using the stone I just got from that super smelter, it's time for me to build the next farm, which is going to be a Magma Farm. And the stone is going to go into stone bricks, which just look better. And the way this Magma Farm works is there's a bunch of rows of stone bricks with rows of obsidian in between. Those rows of obsidian turn it into portals, and like this, I need to just build up again to repeat the process. Then I need to build up really high up. Now up here at the top, I need to make a little platform so I don't actually fall off. This is also the platform which is going to have the killing chamber, so I just need to simply build up a bit to make a chamber out of glass, which magma cubes are going to spawn through portals, fall in, and I'm going to kill them. But before I do that, I need to go through a portal to the overworld so that I can actually link all of the other nether portals to the killing chamber. And now this is the spot I need to build up in and connect the killing chambers to the... Alright, so up here are the 2 nether portals that I'm going to light up in a second. And I'm making sure that magma cubes can't actually fall out the back of them. And now that I've finished it, I just need to go back over, and the killing chamber, it should work, but I'm not 100% sure. Alright, moment of truth. This is kind of... Oh, they actually spawned! Oh, wow, they're actually... I'm actually surprised this is working. But why is it only 1? Oh, okay, yeah, that's a lot more than 1. Okay, it's definitely working. So I'm just gonna AFK for a bit, and hopefully I'm gonna completely fill up those double chests. Alright, it's been a few hours, and the chests are completely full, so now I'm gonna get some leaves, as you can see, and I'm gonna start building the next farm, which is an Endermen Farm. So to start off, I need to place some lava, and now I'm gonna place some water right next to it, which is gonna turn all of the lava into cobblestone, making it so that I can actually place blocks all the way down. Now that I've done that, all I need to do is actually build out a couple hundred blocks, I think. I'm not sure exactly how many, but I know that I have to make it so that a 6 chunk render distance doesn't show the end island. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Now that I'm a few hundred blocks out, I need to make the spawning platform. So that stone block in the middle, I need to build out 5 blocks on each side. So that's one side, and here is the other side. Now I need to make it a little thicker and surround it with leaves. And this is what it should look like, and it does, so that's good, I guess. Now I need to make a staircase for the Enderman to go up, and a little kill chamber, which looks like this. And the rest is fairly simple. I just have to add some fence gates, I think they're called, as well as some carpets on top to make sure that Enderman can't teleport towards the Endermite in the minecart. Oh, and yeah, about the Endermite, just don't ask me how long it took me to get that, because the answer is a very big number. A very, very big number. Alright, anyways, let's just test out the farm. So hopefully it's actually worth it. Oh. Okay. Okay, it mends my sword pretty quickly, so that's one thing. That's a lot of XP and a lot of ender pearls too, so I mean, all in all, I'd say it's worth it. But it's definitely terrifying because I am terrified that I'm going to get attacked by Endermen on the way back. That's a lot of XP. Oh wow, that is a lot. Alright, now that my levels are all up and I've repaired all of my tools and armor, it's time for me to get work on the next farm. So the next farm is going to be a honey farm, because I actually need honey blocks for another farm that I'm going to build a little bit later in the video. And in order to do it, I need to build this little compartment where I'm going to breed a lot of different bees until I get all of the bees I need into beehives. Once I do that, all I have to do is break the beehives with some silk touch and transport the hives into the farm. Alright, now it's time for me to breed some bees. So I gathered up all of the materials and I'm actually traveling the end right now, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build this farm in the end. So you see that end city? Yeah, I'm going to build it pretty close. I think, yeah, over here should be a nice spot. So I'm going to clear out an area and I'm going to build the honey farm, because if I build it in the end, then there's no day-night cycle, which means that the bees never actually go to sleep. They can just continuously work without ever needing to sleep. But if I do it in the overworld, they need to sleep, which halves their production time. And also, if I do it in the nether, there's probably going to be a lot of ghasts and stuff, and I'd rather not deal with that. So, now that I've cleared out this area, it's time for me to start building. Alright, so to start off I need a row of hoppers going into a chest where all the honey's going to end up in. Now on top I need another row of hoppers going into this one. Alright, now behind the hoppers I need a little platform covered in comparators and redstone dust behind it. Some dispensers like that. Now some slabs and beehives behind them so that the bees can't actually fly out. And now finally I need to place some trapdoors on the dirt that's in front of the beehives and place some flowers on top of the dirt. Alright, and it's working perfectly. Now I did actually make it add a little more redstone to it, but it's working and the honey's coming out, so the only thing left for me to do is just build this like one more time, maybe two more times. So sadly I lost all the footage where I actually built the other two layers and I added some redstone to the back, but this is what it looks like from both sides. That's the redstone and this is the side view. So as you can see, it's very efficient. I already have 8 bottles. Anyways, I'm gonna start AFKing at some of the farms that I've built to gather materials for the next farm, which is the biggest farm yet. This is actually gonna be a gold farm. Now you might think, oh, a gold farm, okay, maybe like a few thousand items an hour. How is it that big? Well, it's not just the size, it's the amount of items it produces. It doesn't produce just a few thousand. It produces over 225,000 items an hour. On top of that, the amount of items you actually need for it fills up over 11 shulker boxes, which is less than what I used for the creeper farm. But that's simply because the creeper farm used a lot of cobblestone. This farm uses more expensive materials, like magma cream, which is hard to get, and it also uses not 1, not 2, but 3 beacons. Yeah, it's incredibly overpowered. So anyways, now I'm gonna have to get some beacons, because I actually don't have any, but I have a bunch of wither skeleton skulls from my wither farm. So I'm just gonna kill as many withers as I can, and that way I can get beacons for later too. So now that I've dug a tunnel that's long enough, I'm gonna place the first wither and kill it, the second wither, third wither, fourth wither, fifth wither, sixth wither, seventh wither, eighth wither, ninth wither, and 11th wither. And there we go, 11 beacons. Hey guys, sorry, it turns out I was wrong. I didn't need 11 shulker boxes. I needed 16. And the orange ones are all for magma blocks. Now, the black ones, just, you know, have some stone bricks, because I'm gonna use those. White ones for white panes and obsidian. Then the other ones are just for some other random stuff like boats and just the redstone. And I don't remember what I put in the gray one, but it was definitely something for the farm. What was it? Oh yeah, it was the temporary blocks. Alright, now that I have everything, all I need to do is find the right biome, which is another wastelands biome, but I want one that's actually kind of big and not too close to spawn. So I'm gonna fly off in this direction, and hopefully I find one that's big enough. Okay, so I measured it, and this is an area that is completely nether waste and definitely big enough for the farm. Alright, so now I just need to place an obsidian box around the floating slab that I just placed. Not really a box, more like a hollow box. This is what I mean. And now I just need to extend it all the way upwards. Now some slabs on top. Now in the center of every single obsidian box, I need to place some white stained glass and a turtle egg like that. Now it doesn't have to be white stained glass, I just think it looks better than regular glass, so that's what I'm gonna use. Alright, now I need to tower up with trapdoors all the way to the top around on all four sides of the glass. Alright, now that I'm done with that, it's time for me to place a ring of magma cubes around this entire thing and fill in this ring. Now, that's one layer, and I'm gonna need to make one layer with 2 blocks of air in between so that piglins can spawn and run towards the eggs. So, I don't know why, but piglins just really hate turtle eggs. I really have no idea why. But anyways, since I don't want to show you guys all the footage of how I did this, I'm just going to speed it all up. All you need to know is that I did get Frostwalker on another pair of diamond boots so that I didn't take too much damage from this, because it was really annoying. Now as you can see, I have finished with the magma layers in the gold farm. So now it's time for me to begin building the glass roof. But before I place the glass roof, I need to place some string around the top layer of magma. Now I don't know why, if anyone knows please tell me, but once I placed down all of the string, I began placing the glass. Now I need to build a glass platform around the string. Alright, there we go. Yes, it's a very big platform. But now I need to build something on the overworld called a bridge. What it is basically it connects the nether portals to something that's going to take 15 seconds for piglins to go through so that they can go back into the nether, into their killing chamber. You probably understood absolutely none of that, but you don't need to. I'll just show you how I built it. Okay, so now on this block I just need to build up, and now right here I need to make another portal. Alright, now I need to build out 10 blocks with soul sand on each side of the nether portal. Alright, now I just need to make some really tall wall. Yep, and there we go. It is really tall, but that's what I needed. So now I'm just going to make a little section outward. Alright, so at the back wall I need to place some water, and I need to make sure that the back wall has an infinite water source. Oh no, it's turning to ice. That's not Frostwalker, is it? Oh, no, it wasn't. Oh, I'm gonna have to figure something out. This completely corrupted the world, right? Yeah. Okay, I'll figure something out. Okay, so it turns out that if there's blocks above the water, then it can't freeze. So what I'm gonna do is that, now I do need to fix that because that's not flowing down easily. but as soon as I fix it, I'm gonna have to place kelp and bone meal it all the way to the top, so that when pigmen come through the portal and into the water, they get sent all the way up very quickly. Okay, so I'm not that good at editing, so I'm just gonna show you the finished product once the world loads up. So now I'm done building the redstone part. So how this farm works is zombie piglins go through the portal, shot up here. The water stream pushes them down there where pistons are constantly pushing the slime blocks, which go straight into the nether portal. Now, for me, I fall straight through, but for mobs, they instantly teleport through. As you can see, this one piston is pushing everything, and there's an item going in and out of these hoppers that triggers the piston. Now I need to go back through the portals and build the killing chamber. Alright, so now all the way up here I need to place a row of obsidian and a long nether portal above it, just like that. Alright, now I just need to light the portal and go through into the overworld. Okay, great, so since it links up with this nether portal, that means that so far everything that I've done, all the redstone, all the building, it's been correct. Now I need to build out 92 blocks away. Now I need to make another nether portal here. Now I need to light it, but I need to go back through this portal. Now I need to make another nether portal right next to this one. Oh, I didn't realize I was at the build height. Okay, well hopefully I did everything right. Now I need to light this portal and go through it. Now it links. Now I have to go through the bridge portal. Okay, so it turns out that I messed up. I have to break these two portals and rebuild them. Okay, now I rebuilt it on the other side. Now I need to place fences over here. Okay, so now I built a little system that basically just dispenses a bunch of boats. I don't really know how many I need, I'll just see, but I got a shulker box just in case, and it dispenses them by the click of a lever, and it aligns perfectly with the nether portal. So when I light it, all the boats go through and into the kill chamber, which allows the piglins to all go into one group, and it's a lot easier for me to kill, and overall it just gets me more loot. That's all the boats. Now I need to light the portal again. Break this portal. Piston there with the lever above and flick the lever. Now I need to place two fences like that. There with the lever there. Now I need to flick the lever. Place a block in front of the piston and flick the lever again. Now that the boats have landed like that, I need to break the bottom boat using the axe. Now I need to make sure not to touch them. Yay, more boats. Now I need to light the portal again. Now I need to fix the portal. Now I need to place powdered snow over all of the boats. Now I need to move the portal down one block. Now I need to light it up and place glass on top. And I also need to break this portal. Now I made a couple updates to the farm, well, modifications, and it's completely done. Only thing I need to do is light all the portals, but before I do that I need to finish up a storage system, because all of the items that will fall out of this killing chamber will just disappear if I don't have a good... This is the finished product of the storage system. This is the hopper clock where when I start it, the storage system begins to work, and let me show you how it works. So these pistons, that piston pushes all of these blocks, and those pistons push those carpets, and all the items fall here. Then they get pushed aligned with the ender chest, they get pushed along the ice platform, and then they get stored in all of these chests. And there's a lot of chests. Okay, now that I've finished everything, the last thing I need to do is to build a triple beacon to give me everything I need in order to get as much loot from this farm as possible. There we go. Now I just need to spawn proof this beacon. Now to start the farm, I need to light all the portals on fire. Okay, that's a lot of piglins. Now that should take care of most of them. Yep, that takes care of literally all of them. Now finally, to start the farm, I just need to go to the top, click this lever, and now there's already piglins up there dying. Now I need to go up here, block myself off just in case. Okay, I forgot about that. To start the farm, I just need to hit this armor stand once every 11 ticks. Okay, so it's been about 2.5 hours, and as you can see, I've gotten a lot of levels. And if you look up here, I have even more. So I'm just going to collect them really quickly. Alright, so now it's time to see how much gold I actually... Okay, wow, that's a lot. So that's about 2.5 double chests full of gold ingots. And let's see, okay, and then a little more. Now, let's see how many gold nuggets. Okay, yeah, okay, that's a lot. So basically, every single chest is filled with gold nuggets. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert all the gold that I have here into gold blocks. That way it's easier to transport, and I can actually calculate how much gold I have altogether. Alright, so I finally converted all of the gold into gold blocks, and I have 1, 2, and almost 3 shulker boxes full of gold blocks. That's 75.5 stacks of gold blocks, or 4,832 gold blocks, or 43,488 gold ingots, or 391,392 golden nuggets. Okay, so the next farm I'm going to build is actually going to be a guardian farm. So the first thing I need to do is kill all the elder guardians at this monument that I found earlier. Oh, I forgot about doors. I need doors. Oh, come on, there's a second one? This place is like a maze. I'm never gonna find it. Oh, I found it. Okay. So let me just kill it. Hopefully it's the last one. Oh, wow. Dolphin's Grace and Death Shredder is really overpowered. Oh, come on. Why is there a third Elder Guardian? Oh wait, I might die here. Okay. lock myself in. Oh, that thing's gonna hurt. Okay. Hopefully, I'll survive. Okay, I should be good. Oh, yeah, that was easy. Wait, I got a fish from that? I got a fish? I'm pretty sure that the chances of an Elder Guardian dropping a fish are like 1 in 700. That's like really lucky. Anyways, it's time to start building the farm using the materials in these 2 shulker boxes. So the first thing I need to do is build a really long nether portal while trying not to get killed by not elder, but just guardians, because they actually do a lot of damage. Okay. Oh no, 1 heart. I can't die here. Oh, I popped a totem. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. I only have 1 left. Okay, well, I'll have to try again. Now that I've built the nether portal, I just need to break everything on top of the monument, like all the seagrass, kelp, and hopefully not die to the guardians. Because that would be... oh. Ow. Okay. Okay, what do I do here? Okay. Okay, I think I can survive that. Oh, I survived. Nice. Okay, so now I need to make a large dirt platform on both sides of the nether portal. Oh, I'm so dead here. Oh, I'm so dead. Oh no, my totem. Okay, fly. Okay. Oh, okay, I think I'm good. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. But that was like my last totem. Well, I guess I'll just go back to the raid farm for more. Okay, so now that I finished the dirt platform, I just need to make glass borders around and then place some water streams. Alright, so now I need to place 2 rows of fence gates that are opened. Okay, so now I need to place water source blocks at the very end of the dirt platform, right by the glass. And now more water source blocks like this, like on the side of the top row fence gates. Okay, so now that I'm done with both sides, I need to go into the nether. Why is there a zombie pigman here? Anyways, I need to go into the nether, and I need to make a kill chamber around this portal. So after clearing out a large area and making like a little tube, I ended up with this, which I know it's a big jump, but it's basically just guardians will go through the portal, fall down the glass tubes, which stop the guardians from jumping out. They will die on the soul campfires, and all of the items will be stored in this storage system. So it's actually pretty simple. So now I just have 1 more thing I need to do. Sorry, 2 more things. Okay, so now the last thing I really need to do is to cover the top of this ocean monument with soul sand, so the parts underneath is dirt. So I'm just going to skip ahead to here, because I don't want to show you guys how I built it, because there was a lot of lag involved because of all the bubbles, particles. I finally figured out how to decrease it. So yeah, I figured out halfway through building this that I kind of built it facing the wrong direction, but I don't think it really matters. It might decrease the drop rates just a little, but not too much to be noticeable. Anyways, now I need to build up with scaffolding to make an AFK platform. I think this is high enough. Now finally, I just need to break all of this dirt and AFK up at this platform up above. Okay, so this is about how much loot I've gotten in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So as you can see, pretty much every single chest in the bottom row is filled with like, the first row is filled with prismarine shards and like the small prismarine shards things. There's also a bunch of fish, so if I ever need to breed cats, it'll do. So anyways, I think this farm was pretty successful. So now it's time for me to build the last farm. So you may already recognize this as the absolute monstrosity of a raid farm that I built in the last episode, or well, video. But you may also remember that the storage system didn't really work, and I actually figured out why. So it turns out you were supposed to put like blocker items in it, which I didn't really realize. I thought I was just supposed to put like a stack of whatever item I wanted. So I mean, that makes sense. But now that I know, I can fix it pretty easily. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna fix it right now, and I'll count that as the last farm, because I mean I would like for this farm to be fixed, and I would also like for the farm counter to go up. So you know, win-win. So I just need to make them all look like that. So one stack of whatever item I want, and the rest just 1, 2, 3, 4 slots with one blocker item in each one. So for some reason it didn't really work the way I wanted it to. So I mean, I tried to fix it, but I couldn't. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna destroy all these chests, and yeah, I'm gonna lose a bunch of items. But this farm is so overpowered that I'm just gonna get them all back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna rebuild the storage system the way I need it to be, and I'm also gonna expand it a little by adding a few more chests. So it's actually pretty simple. So I'm just gonna show you the finished product. Alright, so this is the finished product. It is a giant storage system, and as you can see, everything is being stored. Now, I do actually have to break this because Alright, so now that the water is flowing through, it should be working perfectly fine, which means that we are done with all of these magnificent farms that you see here. All 24 of them have been completely finished. Now I know I could build another one to make it an even 25, but I've already been editing this video for about 5 months, and I really don't want to delay it. So I would just like to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe because I really need it. And the next video that will come out will be even better than this, because as you can see, my editing skills have really improved, and they will improve a lot more by the time you see the next video. Thank you, and goodbye.